listeners, you're tuned in to Platzinum.com reality show, episode 4. This is Tom Platz with Dr. Cha.
Hello there.
Our special guests, Maddox and Storian.
Hello.
Welcome, guys.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, hello. Let's have some fun.
And Stoyan, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. First of all, nice to meet you all here. I'm Stoyan from Bulgaria. I'm an ex-bodybuilder, but I don't know if ex is the right word, because bodybuilding is always in our heart, no matter if we compete or don't. And I'm so excited to be a part of Platzinum, and that's all.
And Maddox?
Hi, my name is Maddox. I'm 22. I reside in Texas. I'm a college student, and also I'm a part of Cha's Oracles team for gaming.
Welcome to you both.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let's get started with some of the questions that, Stoyan, do you have a question for Tom or myself?
Yeah, I have always a lot of questions. First of all, it's about the website. It's very good, and I have to say my words about that. I really like it, and I read and heard all the stuff that there is right now, and I'm really amazed for the things that are going to show up there, and I think this will be very useful for people that. Because there is not a lot of information in the internet about the bodybuilding and the lifestyle. So I think this is very important for the beginners, for the intermediate, and for the pros in that sport.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Thank
nice
you
of you
so
to say.
much. Very nice of you to say.
Mm-hmm.
What is your question for Tom?
Tom, I want to again to speak with that for the, mind preparation for working out. It's a very important thing, and
Mindset.
I want just to comment it again.
He needs to hear it again. Of course you do.
So many people ask me about mindset all the time. And I guess that's, it's one of my traits. When I was a very young man, I promised myself that I would not be the guy that's the loser. And as a very young man, I'm a child. I was 9 years old. And I said, I will never be a loser. I would rather die than be a loser. And when I promised myself that, I married that promise within me. And so what that means is that I have to give it everything. I have to be totally spent at what I do. Therefore, when I leave, I'm victorious no matter what. And I know that in my soul and in my being. If I left the circumstance, like for instance, if I leave the gym going, I could have did better, should have done better, I'm a loser. And I cannot ever allow that to happen. It's as simple as that, a self-promise. And marrying your promise to where you have to live up to the promise you made to yourself.
Is that the same thing as you must start in your heart with commitment to yourself? Who cares? Who cares what others think? Who cares how much weight you move? Who cares? Once you make a full commitment to yourself, the power is yours, and you can run with that.
See, the thing about bodybuilding is you're competing with yourself. In every other sport, you're competing with another human. You're trying to dominate another human. In bodybuilding, you're trying to dominate yourself, which is, for me, that's the greatest sport in the world, bodybuilding. What other sport gives you the opportunity to compete against you every day? And to actually try to outdo yourself every day. To me, that's a situation that's wonderful. I mean, it allows you to grow and challenge yourself every single day. And
so that means you're going to bungee jump.
No, I'm not talking about bungee jumping. I'd do it. That's, you said that when we first got together.
I know, and you promised. You promised. I said, okay, you're not an outdoors guy. Camping to you.
I went camping once.
No, you did. You did.
I did.
You ended up at the Crown Plaza. That's not camping. And to you, camping is like the Ritz-Carlton with no hairdryer. That's camping. Okay, so basically, yeah, we'll have to talk about our promises that you broke at moment one. Sorry, Stoyan, I didn't mean to rain on your parade.
You're going to go bungee jumping, aren't you?
We're going to go bungee.
You're going to do it, right?
You're going to do it, right? Okay. Stoyan, do you have a question for me? Stoyan?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, no problem.
One of my question is about negative energy, because I saw that in Platzinum they said coming soon.
It's been posted, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So I can wait.
You can wait, okay. Okay, negative energy.
You should say something about it.
I get a lot of flack, and Maddox knows this. I get a lot of flack playing games with all these kids, and I'm talking about kids from the ages of 10, 11 years old, all the way up to 27. Mm-hmm. And because of who I am, my age, and because I'm not really that pro at games, I get a lot of ridicule. I get a lot of negativeness. I get insulted. I get called names. But I take that, and it just makes me more strong. My gaming clan is going on 7 years old. That says something right there. We're extremely active. We respect one another. I teach English to people that English is not their first language. That was the whole point of my retirement, was to be able to teach and bridge some gaps between countries that have misunderstood each other in history. So that was my goal, and I managed to pull it off. I told Tom, I said, when I retire, I'm going to have a clan, a group of people I want to teach English to, but I'm just not sure what vehicle to use to teach the English. And all of a sudden, somebody sent me a message, a guy from the UK. He says, you should try, you're doing refit with your patients and everything. You should try, since you're getting ready to retire, you should try Mario Kart Wii. I had no idea that you could have friend rosters. I had no idea you could play online with strangers. I didn't know anything about online gaming. And then I decided to make a clan. I said, this would be a great way to actually have fun and be able to teach English.
Amazing.
So that's what I've been doing since 2009. Negative energy comes at me all the time in gaming because it's a shocker to the young, the extremely young. I'm 40, 50 years older than these people. Yeah. And sometimes more. And they just said, when they find out that I might be an older person, that is when they become rude. And on the internet, you can hide behind your computer screens. You can insult people all day long to feel better about yourself. But I take that negative energy, and Maddox can attest to this, and it has made me so strong in my soul. Mm-hmm. The only time it affects me is when one of my kids or two of my kids has to see it, read it, and hear it, too. That's the only time it bothers me. But if it's just me hearing it, me reading it, me seeing it, I don't lose sleep over it at all. I pray for that person, and it just makes me stronger. Negative energy is needed. You need it. Because without negativity, your positive strength has nothing to slam together with. If you put a negative magnet with a positive magnet, they just slam together, right? They just slam together, and you can barely pull them apart. That gives you more power, and you need to use that power whenever you lift, when you're dating someone. When you become a fist with that person, you're attracted to someone, and you just grab each other. That's magnetism. That is power. So negative energy, without it, when you're trying to get rid of it, you're actually also losing power in your life because you have nothing to influence the positive you.
Yeah, it is like for there be white, there must be darkness.
Yeah.
You have to. That's why there's day and night, to and fro.
Yeah.
Waxing and waning. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for it, and you could either be the willow tree, or you could be rigid like a stone and not move at all, which means you will definitely go nowhere as a stone.
Yeah.
Okay? A tree, when it starts to lose its leaves, it scatters in the wind, and the freedom is there. The seeds go along with its fruit, right? And new trees, talk about power. How do you think forests are made? Rainforests. It's not because they didn't bend with the wind. So yeah, you have to have negative. I call it negative energy, and everybody says, "Oh my God, that's kind of like an oxymoron." And you can listen to my podcast and download it. Actually, listen to it often if you need to. I can't stress enough. And I work with some of Tom's athletes, and I talk about, what's bothering you, what's eating on you. I said, now I want you to take that, pull it into your heart with your positive strength, and tell me how you feel now. God, I really feel powerful right now. Yeah, because it adds to who you are. Embrace it. Embrace the heat. Laugh in the face of danger. Laugh. Because now you're twice as strong as you were just moments ago, before the insult came, before the heartbreak came. That is
very
why.
Powerful words.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Makes you stronger.
Yeah, negative makes you stronger, and if you don't have negative to go with your positive, eventually it will die. And you will have no motivation, no inspiration. That's why a lot of people say, how do you stay motivated? I've gotten rid of everybody negative in my life. I says, why did you do that? And they'll go, what? I said, you shouldn't have let your power go. Embrace it.
You have to have evil in the world to have good.
Exactly.
Opposites have to exist, otherwise there won't be any, like Chad talked about, the magnetic approach, which is strong.
Yeah, becoming a fist with your negative energy, you can punch anything in the face, okay, and win. Yes. Anything in the face and win every single time.
That's just the way the universe is set up,
Exactly.
You can't get rid of the negative.
It's no different than day and night. It's no different than day and night, really.
Yeah, necessary evil.
Necessary evil, and it's like rain or sunshine. What if we had sunshine and no rain? Oh my God, how many of us would be crying about, where's the rain, The plants would be crying, and the whole earth would be crying. But too much rain, everybody would be crying still, right? So you have to have sunshine. There's got to be an opposite, because without opposites, there is no power in the universe.
Mm-hmm. It's a cycle.
It's an absolute cycle, absolutely.
So,
Maddox, do you have a question for
just
Tom?
to recap that, so you would say...
No, I'm going to let him listen to the podcast,
Okay, but like one last thing.
What?
When evil is coming towards you, or darkness is coming towards you...
Kiss it on the lips and bend it backwards.
There you go, that's what I want.
Just take it and pucker your big lips up and and make it a long, wet kiss.
Hello, evil.
Hello there.
Hello,
Welcome.
terrible things. Welcome to my life. Let's go.
And now I tell you, and don't misunderstand me, don't go looking for evil, okay?
No, look for the good. You got to look for the good. But...
you always have to make sure you always have your eyes. My father used to say, the best way to get rid of an enemy is to befriend them. And if you don't want to befriend them, keep them close to you so you know everything they're doing.
Just like negativity, huh?
Exactly. Just keep them close to you. And that's another form of befriending. Like I said, in this gaming community that I'm in, it is a constant insult. And I laugh in the face of danger, and I still have I have a veteran clan, and I have some of the most wonderful members. Every one of them have great personalities, and they respect each other from different countries, 14 different countries. How do you do that? It's because the members decide what kind of environment they want. I'm just the leader.
Yes.
And I'm just the glue, and I'm the one that decides. But I also give them power. So you guys take care of this, you take care of that. Co-leaders, team leaders, I've got them all. Many because I want to play games. I'm retired. I don't want to run a clan, but really, I enjoy every single one of them. So Maddox, what is your question for Tom?
Let's see. For Tom, what I've learned from being around Charles for such a while, like it's been what, a year now, I want to say?
Yes, a year.
I learned a lot about you, the bodybuilding and all of your background. It's really cool and, admirable. Definitely admirable.
Thank you. It's been, for some reason, when I was 9, I think the career chose me. But I'm more interested in answering your question. Maddox, do you have a question?
Hello? Maddox?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, hello, there you are. Oh, you're echoing now.
Yeah. I guess for me, coming from someone who doesn't really have a background in working out, exercising, eating healthy, I'm kind of lucky to be where I am with, being fit. What would you say to someone who's young like me, someone in, my generation who, would look into being fit or changing their lifestyles and pursuing something like what you guys do?
Probably can be.
You need to turn down your speaker because you're squelching in the...
Is that better?
That's much better, thank you.
I'd probably compare it to a car. You put really bad gas into a car, after a while it's going to run bad. It's going to not start very well, and it's going to make funny sounds. And pretty soon it's not going to run at all. And your body's no different, really. What you give it is what kind of fuel you put in it.
The performance.
The quality of fuel is the kind of performance that you receive. And I think you have to really get out of shape in order to get in shape. Okay, it sounds funny, but it's like the good and evil, the bad and good thing again. Mm-hmm. And I always thought, that's why they call it get in shape, because you get out of shape first. But as a young man like yourself, you probably haven't experienced really getting out of shape to any large degree yet. But as you get older, you'll find your body's responding differently to the fuel you put into it. You're going to start not feeling as good as you did when you were in your teenager, and you're not feeling as good as when you were younger. You're going to go, how can I get back those days when I felt great? And then you start going, I'm going to eat this instead. And then by eating things that are healthier and better choices, you feel better, you think better, and you run better, and you run longer. And I think that's really just what it probably will take. But it's just like exercise, too. When you go to the gym and you start exercising, it's not that I like training that much. People always ask me about squatting. It's not that I like squatting that much. It's just I'm addicted to the feeling afterwards. The feeling, when you get done in the gym, you feel like on top of the world. It's the best high in the world, okay? And you feel so great for the rest of the day that you can do anything. You really believe you could do anything, okay? And I'll do that every other week. I'll go to the squat rack just for that feeling. And granted, I might put on, some weight and do some crazy reps with some of the guys I work with, but it's not that I enjoy the pain and the effort it takes to really complete a lot of reps with a lot of weight. I do have a work ethic that was instilled in me a long time ago. I like getting things done, and I made a self-promise to myself to do those kind of things. But the feeling afterwards is so, so good. It's such a high, and it's such a rush. I'll do it a lot just to get that feeling, okay?
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
Well, it could be with anything, though. It's not just about bodybuilding. It could be like these Kantai games, and it could be anything in life. It's just that when you achieve the next level, how do you feel? It's amazing.
Yeah, very.
Exactly. Very, very. You're exhilarated, and you're dancing and almost singing. You probably are. It's just, it's like an achievement at any goals that you set for yourself.
Sure.
Any goal, that exhilaration, you will do it over and over again just for that feeling. You may not like what you have to go through, all the stages, but when you get there, when you finally get there, hey, like winning first place in a race. I upload my first place races all the time because I don't get them very often. Because I feel really good that I got first place in a full room of really crazy people with a lot of items. So that in itself is amazing. That in itself. Okay, Maddox, do you have a question for me?
This is just general curiosity, because I know that you had Oracle for a really long time now. What led you to, really coming into that? I know you said that you wanted to teach, but is it really that? Is it really all that there is, or how?
That's a very good question because
How did Oracle come to be, really?
Well, I'll tell you the story. I met some people. One of our fans in Facebook contacted me, and he asked me, hey, because I was posting, playing Mario Kart Wii, blah, 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 I'm having fun. He said, you should join a clan, and I didn't know what that meant. And he says, it's an all-adult clan, and, you would really enjoy it, that we race together, and we do wars with other clans. I said, oh, wow, I'm extremely competitive. So that's just my nature. And the most important thing, I think we're going to have a guest by the name of Lucid who wants he can only listen tonight. Hold a moment, please. And I think the way it started for me was I didn't know about gaming clans. And I was thinking already, I was like, I guess I was, in my late 50s at the time, and I was thinking about my retirement, absolutely. And I said, what did I want to do? Tom and I have traveled the world. We go to different countries. We also noticed that when we go to different countries, other people from other countries fly in to be at the same venue that we're at. And we noticed that there was a kind of a clique. And the cliques are not only in the gaming community, but it's also in adult life. So the cliques are like, what happens is they are basically, this country's over here, really far away from this country, and this country's over here. So when Tom and I have dinner with everyone, we're going from table to table, and they're all the same country. They're never a mixed country, table. And they purposely did that because most of the people that attended our tours wanted to sit with just their country. So I got to thinking, I said, that makes me sad because every country we've ever traveled to, they totally are so respectful and we're so honored all the time. I mean, we are so well cared for. And it amazes us, even when Americans come and they actually fly to Europe or Australia or somewhere where we're going to be. And what they've done is they, too, will sit at a completely U.S. table. So I noticed that it's the countries. I said, if I had a vehicle, the right medium, to bridge that gap between countries to where the youth would speak with the youth. Like, how many clans are there that has 14 countries in it? We're the only ones, I believe. And so I did it on purpose. I told Tom I wanted a multi-nation clan, and I was going to do my best and try to make the world more cohesive than it was when we go to our dinners. I mean, they're always gracious to us, but to each other, you could feel it, the distance. Yeah, remember how we used to just, and we used to just, we talk about it in the hotel room and say, wow, do they really hate each other that much, And so through their youth, I thought, if I had the right medium to teach English, then I never really wanted U.S. Players in my clan because that was not in the plan. In the plan, I wasn't interested in a U.S. player because I was more interested in bridging gaps. But then again, I got to thinking, I said, every U.S. player that's ever been in this clan before you and Lucid, they really were insulting to the accents. Many of them quit Oracles because I don't like to hear all this accents and different language and people telling each other thank you in different languages. And I hated to tell them that, listen, I speak good English because I had training, 7 years of training, tutoring to speak English properly.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't born an American. And so that kind of threw him for a loop right away. And I think they say, well, the accents drive me crazy. You can't understand what they're saying. You learn each other. And that's what I wanted Young to do, was learn each other.
Yeah,
Learn
it
each
teaches
other.
unity. It teaches respect.
And not only that, but don't you just love everyone in Oracles?
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
mean, thanks to you, I wouldn't have ever met people from these regions. You know what I mean?
I know. And it's almost like a gift to get to know different countries.
And cultures, definitely.
And cultures and what they do. And, Mitch is going to kill himself trying to teach me Dutch. Flammy's been trying for 6 years to teach me Swedish. Johan just tells me all kinds of stuff in Swedish when I mess up. And I said, you can forget what you're saying because I don't understand you. So speak English. So I encourage that. And we have 14 countries, and I'm honored. And I'm blessed because every one of you are just amazing in yourselves as people. And that's what I wanted to do. Well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put countries together that we see and feel animosities. And if I only do it by 25 people at a time, the size of oracles, then so be it. I'm patient. I'm very patient with that. But thank you for asking.
No problem.
Okay, we're going to go to our first question, and it is from Liz, and she comes from Platzinum.com. And it's for you, Tom. It says, I read in one of your interviews that you were told previously that you have a genetic predisposition for muscular development and to have the ability to lift heavy. Is there anyone else in your family who shares your gifts and your love for fitness?
Okay. Well, I have to say a few things about that. My mother still does have big, strong legs, and so I think I received some of her traits.
She has your jaw, too.
Yeah. Okay.
Or you have her jaw, I should say.
Yeah, that's right.
Your face are the same. You're like bookends. You could face Tom's mom and make him face Tom, and they look like bookends. They look identical. They have the same facial structure.
Okay.
And the leg development too. Wow, your mom's got great, crazy legs.
Yeah, I didn't come out of the womb with cross striations either, though. I had, you had to work it. And I had small legs when I first began, but I'm not a big believer in genetics. And I look at my own career. I wasn't, the biggest bone, the most muscular. I had some basic traits that I was born with, and it came from my parents to a certain degree. But I don't believe in genetics. I don't believe you have to be a victim of your genetics just because your uncle had cancer doesn't mean you're going to get cancer, and so on and so on. I believe it's the mindset that really sets your life. And in terms of genetics, I wasn't physically superior when I first came to Gold's Gym, but I wanted it so bad, and I demanded it so bad from the universe that people believed it. Okay, and the leg thing was a gift from God. It's directly related to my mother as far as leg ability, but other things didn't grow that easily.
Your father's got great calves.
Yeah, he does. He has good calves, even though he's lean and kind of taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
So you get certain things from your parents, like hair color, and I think certain muscle shape or bone structure. Mm-hmm. But I really believe that you can't let genetics limit you, and you cannot be a victim to genetics in terms of disease or ill health. Mm-hmm. I think that's a big mistake. Chalk will tell you a lot more about that, because that's where I really learned a lot about what I'm saying from her peers and herself as they do research. But forget about genetics. Just go out there and do it. Get it done is my mantra, if you will.
Yeah, well, there's been many cases, though, where people will want to come on board and let us life coach them. And their first question is that, will I ever have a pro card? Well, that was, I was cornered we were doing a guest appearance someplace, and this guy was traveling with one of the people I brought in to be part of the panel that Tom and I were running. Mm-hmm. And he put me in the corner, And when you put me in the corner, that's really going to be bad news for you, really. You put me in the corner, he says, Dr. Chow, I need to know right now, is there a pro card in my future? And I think,
What?
I think,
Tell me what you said.
I said, absolutely not.
Really? Absolutely not. Next question.
Absolutely not. Because it took me a nanosecond to answer him, mainly because, well, number one, I didn't like his approach to, if it was a flippant, you get a pro card because you pay the money. No, you actually have to earn it. And I knew his lifestyle. I knew all about him. And it was obvious that he was, bodybuilding was a hobby. It can't be a hobby at a pro level. It's got to be your breathing. You have to live it and breathe it. I work with a lot of athletes that want to be, like I worked with a baseball pitcher from the Boston Red Sox, and he wanted to pitch so bad, and he was a junior member and all this stuff, and he's going to play on the Red Sox. Oh my God, he's going to pitch. And I told him, because of his mentality, he was going to get there, and he did. He actually pitched.
Yeah.
So you just can't wake up one morning and say, I've got $300 or $400 or how much it costs today to get your pro card. Here's my money. Where's my card? It's not a business card. It's a card that's so earned. And you have to really sacrifice. You sacrifice, you sweat, blood, sweat, and tears, and it doesn't end. It doesn't end just because you get the card.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody's comparing themselves to somebody else.
Yeah. Big
And
mistake.
I couldn't tell you who I competed with. I'm just learning now that who was in shows I was in and Mr. Olympias I was competing in. I'm just learning now, 40 years later, who was at the show. Okay. Ed Corney was there in 81. I said, you were in that show, Ed?
Yeah, he was in a picture with you even. I showed him to you. I said, oh, look at that. He was in the picture too.
But I think that's the mistake, because as soon as you notice somebody backstage you're competing with, you give their power away.
Yeah.
We mentioned this last segment.
Yeah, last segment we
But
did.
so you have to be selfish with your energy. You have to save it for you when you're on the stage, own the stage, and then give it away to the audience and the judges with your posing. Your posing has to be nonverbal communication. But who cares about who else? I always say to these guys I work with, I don't care if God shows up. If you own the stage, if you own the show, it's about you. Show them how it goes, humbly, according to you, and then bow.
No, that's not to be confused with arrogance or...
No.
Having confidence is a beautiful thing, but becoming arrogant with it, you have just lost everything. Your luster, you will not shine, your smile will never reach your eyes, and the judges will see that in a heartbeat.
Too much of anything is counterproductive.
Exactly.
Too much confidence equates arrogance.
Exactly.
It's disgusting. It's very, I don't
we
want to see it.
we have turned down many athletes because they come across believing in yourself and having confidence is totally different than arrogance. Arrogance is that when somebody says they have enough money, no matter what we charge, they want us to work with them, and we turn people down because what we want you to do is we want you to tell us your dreams, and we want to hear it. We want to know what you want to do with all of this energy that you seem to be directing to a sport. And it doesn't matter whether it's bodybuilding, Olympic lifting, powerlifting. It doesn't matter what sport, soccer. What matters is, are you a good person for it?
One thing we've talked about is, success, personal success.
Yes.
How it is important that you go through that. And I've been very fortunate to have some successes throughout my career and all that stuff. But I think really, as Cha and I discussed, real success is showing somebody else how to get there. I mean,
that is where you shine. That is where your true shine comes in.
In the old days are the old days, but actually working with you, Storian, and seeing you light up and say things, and wow, that's just as important, even fact more important than the 81 or 86 Olympia.
All of a sudden, you feel like you're finally getting compensated.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
It's full circle.
Exactly.
And that's why I think, athletes age, and as you age, you have to recognize that there's more satisfaction in helping, not even helping, but just showing someone else how to get there. And that way I could go, okay, it was worth it. All those years of squatting every morning at 7 a.m., it was worth it. And it was. It definitely was. I'd do it again.
I'll remind you the next time I find you on the floor after squatting, okay?
Well, that's not fun.
I'll remind you that you just said this. I'll play the radio show for you.
Okay.
Basically, she wants to know, is there anything else in your family who shares your gifts and your love for fitness?
No. No one in my family has really devoted themselves to
Your
training.
mother walks on the
fitness.
treadmill.
My mother walks on a treadmill, and she's very strong. They walk. They're in their 80s, and they up till recently, they were walking the whole course without the cart.
Yeah, golf course, yeah.
They have that work ethic. That's why I have it. It came from them showing me, as far as if you want something bad enough, you can do it. Just get it done.
And Liz also wants to know, I would be very interested in hearing about any research you have done regarding genetics related to strength and muscle development. You pretty much answered that, but I'd just like to throw this out to Liz. There is my mentor, one of my mentors, his name is Bruce Lipton. He's actually wrote a book called Biology Beyond Belief. And
Big beyond belief, but
it's
biology.
biology beyond belief. And Bruce and we have bashed heads together because we both seem to know about physics, and we know about cells and biology and all this nonsense that comes along when you're a doctor and you have to pretend you're going to play one on TV. Get his book. It's Biology Beyond Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. And you can even Yahoo search for him, and you will see some really phenomenal. You will actually get to hear him speak in some of his videos that he's uploaded. The guy is just totally amazing, and he explains that we are not, and we will never be, victims of our genetics. You're not you're not a victim of your hereditary. You're just not. Now, where I come from, with the mixture with Bruce and his teaching, and I've known him for 20 years, you also have to feed, and I'm talking about food, your culture. If you're got a Spanish history, or if you're Mexican, you better be eating tacos and tamales and what your culture predicts. The black people in the South were my best friends. And I tell you, there's nothing like Southern fried chicken and barbecue and all those things. If you're not eating your culture, you will not be the best person you can be, because your cells, your genes, they don't have an on and off switch. But if you don't feed the body, the genes will not function at the optimal level they can. In other words, retain the color of your eyes, retain the color of your hair, the color of your skin. So I'm living proof of that, for that matter. If I don't have a little bit of rice every day, then my Japanese size goes a little bonkers. If I don't have some pineapple almost every day, and my cousin just sent me some more pineapple, I get a little cranky. So it settles your system, and it settles your soul. But I think related to strength and muscle development, genes do not have an on and off switch. So they cannot respond to food, and they cannot respond to exercise. Really, they can't.
Genes don't, no.
No, the genes don't. Genetics, it has nothing to do with you developing beyond the way you were born.
Well, we could discuss myofibrous cell division. I mean,
she's read that article, by the way, in Platzinum.
Did she? Okay.
Yeah. So
you are limited as far as how far you can go, but then again, if you believe that, you are.
Yeah, you also have to remember genetics that causes your arms to be long, your fingers to be longer than normal, you're taller, more narrow, and that type of thing. There are some things that Tom will be able to do all day long, and myself, because we're short. But taller people will not have that ability to do what we do, mainly because you have much longer limbs. So when it comes to genetics, then that might have something to do with strength, but I don't think so, because there's a lot of athletes we know that are very strong who are very tall. So.
There's some exceptions to every point as well, every rule. Like I remember back in the 80s, Ferrigno, he's 6'5", and Louis Ferrigno said, "Can you show me how you do those hack squats?" And I thought there's no way that a guy 6'5" will be able to do it the same way I can. I put my feet way down on the platform on the hack squat machine.
And he's about 6'5", really, isn't he?
And he point my heels together and my toes out like a duck, and I'm thinking, there's no way, Louis, you can do this. He did it perfectly.
He did it perfectly.
And I was like, oh my God, this guy is so big and so tall and has has muscle attachment sites that are so long, and long muscles, but he was still flexible.
Louis is flexible.
Yeah, he is.
Now, if you can really gain in flexibility in bodybuilding, you'll go far.
We have to be flexible.
You have to be flexible.
See, that's a good point, because so many young people,
they're not flexible.
They trained on machines from the beginning, and they don't have flexibility. They hip immobility. Almost all the young guys I work with, they have limited mobility, and they can't do
their ankle flexion,
deadlifts or squats properly, or ankle flexibility, or even hip mobility.
It's
amazing how of a limiting factor this is. It shocks me, actually.
Right. Okay, let's go to the next question. The next one is question for, let's see. Hello, Tom. This is from Kyle. I believe Kyle was here a bit ago. Let me check. Yeah, he's here. I'm going to see if he wants to join the call.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on one moment, please.
You guys ever see Night of the Living Dead? That movie, Night of the Living Dead?
What is that?
The zombie one?
Yes, the zombie movie.
Uh-huh.
We kill zombies in Minecraft.
I know you guys do in Minecraft. But it's like, I have to add this as a quick addendum. Back in the 70s, when I was training in Detroit in college, it was almost like everyone came to California in the 60s before me, and the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. Everyone came to California like we were all anointed zombies, like Night of the Living Dead. Coming to California, we got on airplanes with no money. None of us had any money. But we all knew that we had to train in one gym together. And we didn't know how we were going to make money. We just knew we had to be all together in California. And it's people came from all over the world. All over the world they came to train in one gym. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And I always think about like the, Night of the Living Dead, like zombies. We were all like anointed zombies in bodybuilding and fitness, just coming to California to share the dream. And then when money got involved, sort of the love of the game sort of was put away a little bit. But, I still relate to why we all came out here in the first place. It was like there was no choice. We did not have a personal choice. It was just like people would sacrifice careers and families to come out here and train. It was the most amazing thing. Even Eddie Giuliani said, I think I should have came. I had a business. I had a construction business. And I left it all. I left millions of dollars to come to California to train.
I know. It's so crazy, but they were. I met Arnold and Louis Ferrigno first, the guy that played the Green Hulk. And just in case people...
There's a reason squat shoes are green, too, by the way.
Exactly, and there's a reason why your squat shoes are green.
There's a reason why Mopar
and Tom was
challenges are green.
Like, I was in the same gym as them. I've been training since '69, and it was like I go into the gym, I do my thing, and then I leave. And Tom was in there supersetting, and I don't know what, but it's just like I was trying to use a bench, and he had 3 of them. So he said, "Are you done with that bench?" And I said, "Excuse me, who are you?"
84.
And that was in 1984 when we first met, and I really did not like him a lot at the time.
She wasn't blonde. I said, "No way."
Yeah, I looked like Cousin It. My hair was really long and black, and I didn't like blondes either. So it was like, "Are you done with that bench?" They were like zombies. I got to know Arnold and Louis pretty good at that time, and I think Arnold was doing Conan 2, and Louis was still doing the Green Hulk.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure who you were. You were a guy, and you were like a bull in a crystal shop. Just get out of his way type thing. That's how I got to know Joe Gold the first time. Yeah. So I'm trying to get Kyle on the radio here, and he hasn't answered yet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the question. Hello, Tom. This is from Kyle from Platzinum.com. I've read up on a lot of your routines that you've done in the past, and it seems like you did a lot of bilateral 2-leg movements for most of your career. Did you ever do any single-leg movements like lunges, splits, squats, or cycling at any time in your career? And I've heard you mention before that you did a lot of deadlifting early in your career. But did you do any hamstring exercises aside from leg curls. Could you explain what made you choose the particular exercises that you did?
A lot of questions in one question here.
I know.
Okay. I only did lunges and split squats and for photo sessions. I never actually used them in real training. It was just for the pictures, and especially if I was being photographed with a pretty girl. Okay, we'd do some lunges together.
That's just TMI right now,
Okay.
TMI.
But it was for the magazines. I really think it's, I don't know, how do I say this politely? It's stupid exercises. Okay.
Well, you know, you've got to understand that a lot of people can't squat.
Well, I see.
And they do lunges. I did lunges once, and I can squat. So I had no use for lunges. To me, was like, I felt like it was going to, it wasn't a normal, and I never do anything in live lunging. Do you?
No, you don't. See, I think everyone, though, can do some form of a squat.
I think everyone can too. Yeah.
Everyone squats down to pick stuff up, or go to the bathroom, or whatever.
All right, that's TMI for sure.
But in other words, you have to squat, and there's a way to squat. And I think people are so afraid of the movement that they think, oh, it'll be easier if I do these split lunges or leg presses. And they're movements that are not as effective. They're ineffective movements. But yeah, that's why you have to do all these other exercises if you don't squat. But if you squat well, if you squat with a pure technique, all you've got to do is squats and hack squats. And one of the guys I'm working with right now in the gym in the mornings, he squats so well right now. His technique is close to 96%. He can just squat and get great results and do nothing else. And what I'm getting at is the basics. You've got to squat. And hack squats combined together did everything for me. The reason I chose those two exercises was because they were the best. They produced results. That's the answer to that one question. Deadlifting. Okay, he's going to deadlifting here.
The thing is with squats, though, I squat doing everything. I don't use my back.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like, it's easier for me to squat down to do.
People use their back. They bend over and they use their back to pick stuff up.
Yeah, but you shouldn't because your torso is so heavy.
Really? It puts a lot of stress on the lower back.
Exactly.
The legs are much stronger, but people don't
Well,
move
the
that
legs
way.
is the largest muscle group in the body.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a compound movement of a squat. If all you did in life was squat, you would be in really good shape.
Plus, when you squat, everything else grows too. Everything else.
Exactly, everything.
Your ears, not your ears, but your neck, your traps.
That's a little bit out there. Okay.
Actually, my feet got bigger too when I started squatting. I swear to God, I had a size 9.
You can't lie to
back in
people
the 80s.
on the air.
Now I have a 10.5.
You can't lie to people.
I'm not lying. I'm serious.
You've got to stop this.
It's one of those things that nobody ever
Every time you
knows.
do a show, you lie. This can't. The people are not going to ever believe anything we say.
It's just the truth.
Let's see. You did a lot of deadlifting early on in your career.
I didn't do a lot of anything really. I think deadlifting.
You have a video on YouTube that shows you deading, and
Is there?
yeah, and it's really like I can't believe you actually did that, but it was perfect dead, to be honest.
I mean, back in the day, we would do 2 or 3 reps with 700 after the back workout, after an hour and a half of back exercises. I'd go to 405 and do sets of 20 and 30.
He's talking about
on
pounds,
deadlifts.
just in case you guys don't know.
400 pounds, 700 pounds. I mean,
Yeah.
forget about the weight though. I could do it, so I did it. Nowadays, I don't deadlift that much. I'm 61 because my lower back took its toll over the years. I could, but I'm more interested.
And
in
I
putting my
refuse to
focus in
work on
squatting.
him. Yeah, okay.
I'm having fun squatting right now.
Yeah, don't tell me that because I'm not working on you anymore.
Okay.
I'm retired.
Did you ever do any hamstring exercises aside from leg curls? No, I didn't. Leg curls were so effective, especially with positives, negatives.
There you
Force
go.
positives,
Positive and
force
negative.
negatives. You got to have negatives, you have positives.
Force
You're right.
positive, force negatives. Everywhere you go to for
Exactly.
benefit and reaching goals.
You got to have both.
Got to have both.
But my training partner at the time would I'd hold the weight up and he'd push it down very slowly, and I'd try to stay up, or just hold it in one place, like a forced isometric. An isometric at the very bottom of the movement, where he'd hold it down. I would just try to pull him up in the air. Isometrics, partial movements, partial
Static.
negative, partial positives, statics,
Yeah.
all those things. In other words, one set was probably like 20 sets to the normal human, okay? but it worked. And I would prefer to do 3 sets rather than 30 sets and make it work that way. In fact, I've had a discussion over the years with many people.
Okay, let's move on.
Did we answer that?
You did,
Okay.
pretty much. Andy has asked a question. Hi, Tom. Hi, Mr. Tom. I heard that you were possibly working on your personal hack squat footwear. Is there any truth to that? I know you just released a squat shoe which looks superb. Thanks.
Well, we've certainly, that it's been 17, 18 years talking about a squat shoe that I would finally be able to endorse and have made by some of the best people in the world. And that's just come out. So,
Yeah.
In my mind, the
Not
back
yet.
of my mind, we think about hack squat shoes or deadlift shoes. But right now, that's just a thought.
Yeah.
The squat shoe has finally been released, and I'm like a little kid. I'm like, wow, I wish I had these back in the 80s, But I squatted in them the other day, and it's like putting great tires. It's like putting 22s on a Porsche, 22-inch tires, and it handles so much better. I'm experiencing handling and squatting ability like I have never experienced. My tires are better, or I should say my shoes are better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but they can't be in the bed anymore.
No, don't bring them to bed. Because
Okay.
keep them in the gym bed.
He's just like a little kid with a toy. This is like, okay, these can't be here today, okay? All right, let's go to the next question. Oh, let's see. Nils, question for Tom. What comes in your mind when I say you these words? Bodybuilding family, group of training buddies, coach, all bodybuilders on earth. Something else. Thanks. Okay, this is Nils' dog. I think
Is it Niles or Nils?
Nils.
Niles? Like there's a
Nils.
Niles in the TV show?
Right, but this is Nils, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's from either Denmark or Sweden. I'm not sure. I don't want to insult. So he wants explain to him what it means when you say bodybuilding family.
I can remember being in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania when I was a little boy. And I started bench pressing, and all of a sudden, I knew people at all the YMCAs. They all talked. There was no Facebook back in the 70s or late 60s. But people would talk. And pretty soon I became friends. I was friends with guys I didn't even know in other YMCAs and other gyms across the country. Pretty soon I was friends with people in Europe that were doing the same thing that I was as far as weight training. And the family is unbelievable. I mean, once you're in the family of bodybuilding, it's like being in the mob. You can never get out, okay? And I tried to get out. I think, okay, those were the old days. Nowadays, I'm into high finance or something or doing other things, but it always calls you back. I mean, you always somehow go back to your roots. And finally, I've come to the conclusion, I'm very proud of my roots. I'm very proud of bodybuilding. I mean, we can talk about it in a negative sense and in a positive sense. And then again, that's life, as we just discussed before. But the bodybuilding family is extremely heartwarming. I mean, Storian from Bulgaria. I mean,
He's
God.
from Latvia.
Okay.
Latvia.
Okay.
Wow. We have somebody in our forum bike from Latvia. Oh my God.
I mean, it's
amazing.
a really a universal, a worldwide community connection that really, it's like being in the same high school that's worldwide. It's like being in the same college that everybody knows everybody.
It's like being in Oracles. It's worldwide.
Like being in Oracles, everybody knows everybody. It's like being in the TV show Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
great.
we know each other's names pretty good.
But even now, the bodybuilding community, the family is spreading. I mean, people I would never think would have familiarity with bodybuilding. They like, hey, Tom, how are you? I'm like, wow, this is an average guy on the street. They know about bodybuilding. They even know about the 80s.
Why don't you tell them about the time we were walking on the beach and everybody ran me over to get to you?
We just met. We were on the beach, yeah.
They forgot about the little munchkin here, and I got run over by 20 people because they recognized Tom. And
what did they say?
They said, oh, Tom Platz, the Golden Eagle. And then I got trampled to the ground, And Tom had to grab me.
No, they were said something like, the greatest legs ever in bodybuilding.
I know.
And Shaw's like, how about my legs?
Yeah, really. I was wearing a mini skirt. And I was really in ultimate shape. And I said, what? My legs are like chopped liver. What? So.
I mean, it
was great. So let's move on. We got to move on.
But one last thing. Okay. as you know, I take bodybuilding very seriously. We all do. But yet it's funny. It's funny, too. You have to be able to laugh at yourself.
Okay.
I think we have to say that.
Yeah, okay. Laugh at yourself.
You don't understand.
I never see you laugh. Okay?
You don't understand.
You've got to stop lying on these radio shows. You really got to stop lying. Okay,
You're so
Sandy Chow. Tom, was it hard for you to quit competing? And what is life in the gym like for you now? Why do you keep training now? Yeah, why do you do it now?
Okay. It was hard to stop competing. I mean, it was time. I knew it was. Then all the new guys were coming up, and I was hurting, and I was tired of traveling around the world doing the same routine on stage every.
It's overrated traveling around the world.
Yeah, it's not as glamorous as you think. It was hard work, and it wasn't fun anymore. I was getting paid a lot of money to do something that was 30 years. I was like, okay, I know how to do this, and I wanted to do something else. I wanted something else to challenge myself, so I decided to retire. But it's very difficult to retire. Nobody ever talks about this because all of a sudden I started wondering, who am I? I used to do this, but who am I now? Now that I'm lighter, and rather than team 220 or 230, I'm 180 and 190. It's like, am I the same person? People start to look at you and they remember you, what you used to look like, and you sort of lose your identity. It was a very trying time for me. Just recently, within the last 10 years, I've come into my own as far as I feel good about the past and good about the present. Very much so. And I keep training now because it feels good. I mean, it's like I said, when you go to the gym, and right now I can do about 315 pounds for 15 reps on the squat, perfect pure reps. In the old days, I could do 50 plus reps with 315. But I got to tell you, it's much more meaningful now than it was back then, and it's actually more fun this time. You know, and I got to tell you, I saw Arnold at the gym the other day, and I said, it's more fun this time, don't you think? You know, and we sort of laughed, but I really think it is. It's like the wisdom, and the pressure's not on now to do 50 reps or to compete for the Olympia, but it's fun because it's who I am. It's why I exist, and it gives me a connection to the universe and to other people in the family. What motivates you?
Me, yeah. Sandy from Platzinum.com, he wants to know, Dr. Jha, what motivates you now? I mean, what keeps you staying on the right path? Sandy, I don't know who told you this, but I have never been on the right path. I have always worn my halo at a tilt. I challenge everything in life. I don't believe anything that mankind says. Now, if God had something to do with it, then I kind of like accept it and I walk away. But I challenge everything. Even when I was in school and taking classes, I challenged my professors like crazy. They were so glad when I graduated. And it's because, more than anything else, what motivates me is really my gaming clan. My kids in the clan. I call them kids because I'm a good solid 40 plus years older than all of them.
I think the truth motivates you in everything.
Well, yeah, the truth, too. I can't stand a person. That's why you got to stop lying on this radio show. Really, it's starting to make me grow horns.
You're so crazy.
The thing is what motivates me is the truth. Tom is correct. It does. And my gaming clan, with all the different cultures, I love, the only reason we still travel once in a while, we're trying to get it down to a low roar now, is because we just love to embrace. We don't want to go to a fancy restaurant. We want to go where the locals go to eat. We want to eat what local people eat.
Yeah. And
to us, it's amazing. Every culture we've ever met, everybody that's ever given us the privilege and honor to be of audience to us, it's a privilege. But staying on the right path, you know, I don't really think about it. I try to travel in truth as much as possible. I think the only time I lie is when I want another game, you know, if you want to call it a lie. Like, I have money for this game, and I really don't, so I have to take it out of Tom's wallet, that type of thing.
You always say, if God made it, I have no idea. If man made it, I can figure it out.
Right.
And Jha does. She'll figure anything out.
Yeah. If mankind creates it, I can figure it out. It may take me a while, but I question anything that man creates. Now, one of the biggest things, and this is probably, I'm going to lose a lot of credibility here, or a lot of fans, either one. I always, people are doing egg whites like crazy, right? Everyone does egg whites, egg whites, egg whites. Okay, what I want to know, and I only have one question. I want to meet those egg white laying hens. I want to see it in an eggshell. I want to meet the hen that can actually lay an egg white egg. And when I say that, literally, we'll be at shows and they'll have an egg white booth, and Tom has to literally, physically, and this is no joke, this is not a joke, and this is not, he has to carry me away from the egg white booth because I know what it's doing to people.
It's incomplete food.
It's incomplete food. And when it's incomplete food and you put it in your system, it's going to find, and your body's going to lose, it's going to find a way to complete itself so the body can't metabolize it.
How do you always say what's popular isn't always right, what's right isn't always popular?
Right. I've never been famous for my words, so...
Those are pretty good words.
Yeah, and it's, what keeps me on the right path is that everything that I tell people, what I suggest to people, I don't feel like I'm helping anybody because I haven't met anyone that's helpless, except for maybe this little baby a couple of days ago. But I will tell you this, if you eat the food, monitor your behavior, how you feel, how you sleep, and then the food will tell you the answers. I'm very particular about my food, and I've always been that way since I was an itty-bitty thing.
One of the things I heard you say a long time ago was there's a book. It was written a long time ago. You said this, and it's a really old book, but it tells you exactly what to eat. There's no question in this book, and I believe it. And I go, what book was that? And you said the Bible. Oh, really? And then you said, what was verse this? And
it's Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy. It says, eat fish and fowl and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already been done.
And
the
then in
guidebook,
John and James, he declared all foods to be clean. So McDonald's, here we come. No, I'm just joking. He didn't mean McDonald's. Okay. You can do all food. So, but you have to know what to put with it, so the body has a chance to use it.
So we're going back to the negative. You got to give it some pizza and beer once in a while.
Right? No, I don't do beer. No.
Do you eat fine?
No, Tom, that's a lie. So
it's got to work everywhere.
Yeah. But staying on the right path, you just can't think about it. If you do right by God every day, and if I get cranky in a call or something, I'll get off the call. But everyone has bad days and everybody has good days. I race with my clan in a game, and sometimes I'll really do awesome, and I get a complete joy. What motivates me to play Mario Kart 8 is that I get this complete joy of reading and sniping my players with items. But if I get messed up too much, I don't like it. So it's just, I don't know. I think you have to, before you can be motivated by someone else, you have to know how to motivate yourself.
Yeah.
You have to know what that feels like, you being the messenger to yourself. If you can't motivate yourself, you can go ahead and get all the self-help books in the world. And
People do.
Yeah, and
books,
all these self-help books in all over the world. And I'm here to tell you, it's just going to take your money. But good job in supporting the authors. Good job. But you've got to be able to motivate yourself. What makes me get up every single day is my game plan, but also food, because I'm hungry. Yeah, food wakes me up, and that's a big motivation for me, and I look forward to my food. And so I don't really think about staying on the right path. I think living in truth is so easy. I tell people, I said, if you lie, you're going to have to lie about that lie, and you're going to have to remember the lies because you've never lived it. So I just tell my story the way I've lived it. And you always have the same story every time you speak to different people. So it's better just be honest.
Pertaining to this question and sort of encapsulated, I once thought that whoever has the most stuff and makes the most money and has the most toys, the most exotic cars is the winner. And the most big houses in Beverly Hills or whatever is the winner. But, and I was very fortunate enough to have a lot of stuff. But I wasn't the most happiest. I'm more happy when I'm doing the things that money can't buy. Like talking to you guys right now, talking to you about the training, what it's about, how it makes you feel, and the belief system. I mean, that, to me, money can't buy that. People try to buy it.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
do. People try to buy it. But you can't buy it. You can only experience it.
I think we only have one more question
Okay,
from
all right.
Platzinum.com. It's from Mallory. Dr. Cha, how do you manage living with a pro athlete?
It's perfect, right?
We don't have enough time to answer that question. The first thing you must do, before you even think about being, Tom, I don't go by visual effects, okay? I always go by heart. If you're a good guy, I don't care what you look like. And Tom, when I met Tom, he was a little bit too forward for me. I'm a very slow-moving, very non-aggressive person when it comes to my personal life. I like things to kind of like settle into place. And but Tom was in a hurry. I'm not sure why. But living with him is that the first thing I suggest anyone that's living with a competitor of anything, you've got to make sure you understand the beast. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you don't understand the beast, you have no prayer, and no, you will not get unrelenting attention. Because an athlete at a pro level has to keep his eyes on himself or herself. They can't lose sight of that, or they will fail.
It's another reason you retire.
And that's another reason. So you have to wait till they retire before you'll get audience.
And even then, it's still kind of hard.
And even then, yeah, you're not lying now. Good job. It's just like with him being retired. Well, I met him when he was retired. But if I tell him he can't go to the gym today, the best thing for me to do is run for cover. Because, I mean, what do you mean? I said, okay, running for cover now. So I told him, I always tell him, you can't go today because I need you. He says, it's only for an hour. He's gone 4 hours. Big difference in his time clock and my clock. So the best thing to do is just understand the beast. Understand what they need, even when they retire. If you don't understand it, you're going to butt heads. We butt heads every Friday night. If it's going to be squat Saturday, we fight every Friday when it's squat day the next day. And I usually lose. I'll be honest. I usually lose. But you just got to understand. And then also, being the significant other of a pro athlete, I have to tell you that it's never going to be about you, ever. So if you can accept that, and you don't mind being a backdrop or a sidekick, then you'll be all right. It's not that Tom doesn't treat me. When we're by ourselves, he's extremely generous, and but his needs are very, very high, and they remain there because that's what a pro athlete is about. Now, if you want to remove that pro athlete characteristic from him, then why in the Sam Hill did you marry this person? You know what I mean? Why did you marry him if you wanted to change him? No one is allowed to change anyone. So you either understand the beast, realize that you're never going to be, when it comes after Tom, comes me. So in that order. But sometimes I come first too, because if he wants me to work on him or adjust him after he's trained so he can recover faster, I always say, if you buy me this game, I'll adjust you. It's a deal, right? It's a deal breaker. He says, yeah, but I just bought you a game last week. I said, well, if you buy me this game, I'll work on you today. That was last week. So there is a trade-out. But you can't ever think you're going to ever be first.
I have to add to that. And everything that I'm not good at, you are good at. And I really believe...
Thank you, honey.
This is true now. I really believe, and I'm going to tell people that I am a better man with you than without you. I know that. As much as I'll not say that or not say that directly. I have to say that now.
Aw, don't make me embarrassed in front of people, please.
But you know, and I recognize that, and I think if you can say that about your spouse, you're probably with the right person. You know?
Yeah. I wish I could share the same.
I wish you could say it too.
Oh my God. You don't know what it's like. It's just like, there is no space for me. Literally, you know, he's twice my size. And when he, it's just like we have a queen size bed. And how do you take up the entire queen size bed? I have no idea. So I had to buy me a ginormous pillow. We usually end up on the floor together. But, it's like I said, it's really not as difficult. It's just that you can't be going in thinking that you're going to be the big difference in the pro athlete's life. You're really sorely mistaken. You know, you just forget that, because even though he's retired and everything, we've been together 18 years, and it's not always been easy. And every now and then I have to, you know, walk away when he wants something, and until he stops doing what he's doing, I don't give him audience. So it works both ways, you know. I don't always get what I want, but Tom is extremely generous. If I want something or need something, he will get it for me. And to him, that is how he expresses himself. And you just have to accept that. You won't have like what they call quality time, but we do have quality time. Every now and then we'll do a movie marathon or something like that. We don't answer our phone, emails, or anything.
Yeah.
You know, that's just who we are. But you better understand the beast, and don't go in thinking that you can make a big difference to change this pro athlete's way of thinking. You're going to hit a brick wall very quickly. Tom, last question for the evening. Do you ever relax at home? I can answer that. I can answer no. And
Sure I do.
No, you don't.
You're lying again.
You're lying. You're lying. Are you kidding me? Or are you busy planning workouts?
No, I'm
Yes.
not planning workouts.
Yes. Yes. He is. I mean, squat day is 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
2 weeks. My God. Do you ever relax at home? Yes. Usually, I can find him on the floor in the dining area, close to the breakfast.
The floor
bin.
feels good. I like the floor.
And yeah, it's like, you know, if I have to go past the dining room, it's like a hurdle. Yeah, he does relax, and I think he does relax. Do you answer that?
I mean, the funny thing is, still, you think about it, I've been training for over 50 years. Training in the gym for over 50
You
years.
didn't tell me you were that old.
And I'm still finding things. I'm still thinking about the workout. I'm still finding things out, going, let's try this tomorrow. Let's do this, you know. And you would think after 50 years, okay, it'd be like boring, I got it done. But it's like playing golf, you know. You don't just hit a ball in a hole and go from hole to hole. There's the finesse, the music of it, the rhythm of it. I mean, training, you know, is basically, it's I always say to the guys I work with, does life imitate the gym, or does the gym imitate life? And because...
Ooh, that's deep.
It's like,
That's really deep.
And get this, what I said to Josh the other morning, I said, he did a real good set of squats. And I said, if you can do this, you'll solve all your problems in life. You know, and he did. He did great 15 reps with some
You're about
major
to be a
weight.
father. It's only beginning.
This will solve all your problems. But he will, because if you can squat with that kind of
Yeah.
intensity for
That's
15
good.
reps with that much weight,
Yeah.
you have the answers in you
Yeah.
at home and when your baby comes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. Well, I think this just about wraps up our
Okay.
segment or episode this time. I want to thank Storian and Maddox for joining us, and Lucid for listening in. I hope you enjoyed it. And Tom Platt.
Thanks, guys.
The Golden Eagle. Thank you
right.
for showing up today.
Thanks for being here, child.
Okay, people. We'll see
Okay.
you guys later. Have a good evening.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.